My husband, Gus, comes from a really large family. He's one of 9. There are 7 brothers and 2 sisters, and there are about 24 nieces and nephews. One of them being Jose. He's one of his nephews who this story is all about. We had gone out last year on April 1st to celebrate Gus's birthday. And we had returned home, and I decided to go upstairs. And shortly after, I remember hearing Gus coming up the steps, and the door opened rather slowly. And with a trembling voice, he tells me, little Jose, his nephew, who was a very accomplished gymnast and national champion and had suffered an injury doing one of his routines and had become paralyzed. I remember just screaming, saying, no to him, no. And I just grabbed him by the hand because he was so broken at that moment. And we just went down on our knees right in front of our bed. And I just screamed and I just, God, please be with that child right now and make sure he's not alone, that make sure he doesn't feel any kind of fear, because it was so devastating at that moment. I really wanted to do something. I felt so helpless, like, what do I do here? And he's over there. So I decided I was going to start writing prayers for him. I need to do something. So I chose my son's room. This will be my war room for Jose. So I started writing my prayers just emphatically and black ink and marker. I just wanted, I guess, God to see them clearly. I went through so many Sharpies and tape and paper. It was just, I needed to write them that way. A week later, we went to visit Jose for the first time. I said, I'm going to tell you something. I started a war room just for you. He looked at me with these beautiful eyes. He smiled and he mouthed, thank you. Just beautifully, thank you. Very clear. That was it. That was my forever commitment to him. So I went home and I continued. Every night I would sit and I would begin to pray, and I was not happy. I mean, it was a difficult time because I was wrestling with the fact that this had happened. I was wrestling with the fact that I knew God was going to do something big for him, but it was going to take time, and we needed to trust, all the way. So all the things I would write, and eventually when I would hear God's telling me the updates, it's like, yes, one of my prayers has been answered. I will go back to the room, run upstairs, and I would say, I would write thank you, and I write the date, and he did it, whatever I needed to do on my prayers, and it felt so good, and I was so happy that he was making progress, that God was walking him through all of this. What this war room has also done for me is actually continue to pray for other people that ask me. And I have prayers for other people now that I do, and some have been answered also. So I just continue. It's just something I have to do. It's something I want to do. And I know my eternal friend is listening. He's always there. He never leaves me alone. He's never busy. I know he's always listening. So it's a good thing to know.